musical.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm taking it. Nice try, Ken.
We'll have to do a Brady and Cook on you taking your youngest to watch Matilda, the musical.
Oh, definitely.
She doesn't know yet.
Well, she don't watch
Does
this.
now.
Oh, she shouldn't. She freaking shouldn't do. She's a bad dad.
Fucking Smarty, man.
See, that's exactly it.
Have you been for a job
Smarty
interview
just loves
today,
throwing.
Luke?
Yes, Smarty just loves throwing people under the bus, doesn't he?
Yes, my 6-year-old watches friggin' ought to know better. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We are the Ought to Know Better boys. If you haven't been here before, then welcome. We'll run an intro and we'll get into it.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
He's a utensil player a bit, isn't
I
he?
mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead. Nothing spectacular, really.
We can't lose that
What
intro,
happened
can we? Even if it means we
Carl
don't
nearly
make
blew
any
my
money.
friggin' ears out then with that chuffing laugh. I think I've got my laptop turned up too much. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Cinderella. I'm joined by Happy and Grumpy, the two dwarves.
Which one's
Sorry,
which?
Well, you're definitely Grumpy.
I should hope so too.
You're not Positive J anymore. You are Grumpy J. Welcome along, everyone. Get your comments in. Get some interactions going in. I think we've already got quite a few people in the comments already. Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you two? Are you all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Not bad.
See,
Glad I've
that's
stopped-
why you're grumpy.
Glad I've stopped melting now.
You've stopped melting. That's not.
Yeah.
It's been cracking weather, Jay.
Oh yeah.
You've been sitting under a mushroom in your garden, have you?
No, I had to put a fan so big on it, nearly blew me around room. So that wasn't much good.
Don't wear baggy pants, or you'll be all over the place. We'll get down.
So
for
to
the
you,
week.
it was a big fan, but to anyone else, it was just with them handheld.
Yeah,
things
one of
that-
them little
Just
battery
with the little
powered
desk
things
fans.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I've won my first game of golf at the fourth time of asking tonight, so very, very happy with that. I'm now and climbing the ranks. I'll be playing Tiger and that soon. I think in a year or two's time, if it continues with this trajectory.
Nice.
Tiger King are into golf.
He's in jail, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah, he's not playing golf in there. He might be
You won't
playing
be
with some
playing
kind
Tiger
of balls.
fucking Woods.
Might be a
Won't
different
hitting
type
with
of
a
golf.
stick. Yeah, you bought some golf sticks and you've decided to. Well, I suppose it's good for your knees, isn't it? With your barn door knee, not playing football.
Better than playing rugby or football, I suppose, mate. And anything,
That's it.
anything's better than that. So yeah, just enjoy it, mate. It just gets me out of the house, bit of fresh air.
It's good.
And,
Yeah, it's good to get out there, isn't it? Good to get out.
it is.
I don't get it, mate, with golf. I just don't. I don't get it.
Mate, you
Probably-
watch fucking WWE.
That's true. That's true. But you know, it's weird though, because like I used to like playing the PlayStation games. I thought they were really good, but like watching it on TV and stuff, I can't get into it. I'd probably have a go at playing with you lot. I'd make a tit out myself because I've never hit a golf ball before. But that'd be about it for me.
I think it'd be a good laugh, actually. I think it would
Charity golf.
Yeah. We'll have to
We'd have
put
to
you
try
in
and
some
find
sort of
some clubs
lanyard on
small
just so you didn't fall in one of the
I'll get
holes or
them.
something.
I'll get them mini golf ones, Luke. I'll be right.
Jay
Plastic ones.
looks like the caddy off Happy Gilmore.
A little gopher. Anyway,
Yeah, the
chaps, we didn't have much football at the weekend. The only bits of bobs that we've had to watch is the Englishness. Did you watch the Ukraine game?
I didn't watch that one though.
I mean, obviously, other international games were on, but we're all English here, so you have to bear with us for those that are not the local yokels that we are. What about the English versus the Scots last night, then? Did any of you watch that one?
Yeah.
I saw a good chunk of that. I was sort of in and out of it, but yeah, I saw a good chunk of it. I missed Harry Maguire's own goal, though, so I didn't get to laugh.
If anybody, it had to be him, didn't it? You know,
Oh,
fucking,
of course it did. It's
Mr.
like he's trying to force Southgate to see what we all see. Like he's trying. He's going out there and he's doing his best or his worst to make him see, but he just won't drop him.
Do you know what? If you want a scummer, I'd feel sorry for him.
Yeah. If he was still
Because he was a
Leicester,
bloody good defender at Leicester, wasn't he? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, he didn't have an £80 million price tag for being a shit bloody defender, did he? I mean, he's been pretty good for England, and he's just I want to feel sorry for him, but you went to Scum, so fuck you, shit bastard. You shouldn't have been playing anyway.
Pretty much.
Thoughts about Calvin being included then? Let's stick to, obviously, a former player of ours, Calvin Phillips. He made the squad, the starting 11 as well, given that we were friendly. How do you reckon he got on?
So
I think he did well.
Go on, Jay.
Well, that's about it, really. I'm not going to go that far. I think he
That's
did
about
well.
as in-depth as Jay goes these days now. I did all right.
That's it. I get accused of being negative if I say too much. I think it's interesting to see him get picked because I don't think he necessarily deserved that based on how much he's played. But it's kind of like the same thing with Maguire. He gets picked because Southgate trusts him. So, if you're going to complain about Maguire getting picked, you should probably complain about Calvin getting picked, although he's never really put his foot in it like Maguire has on the pitch. And I'm happy to see him out there. It's just, if you were a player who's in the queue behind him, you might feel a bit aggrieved. But I like seeing him in England shirt.
The two players, obviously, Henderson and Maguire were a real eye raiser for me because I was like,
fucking Henderson,
Jesus Christ, they shouldn't be there. Calvin
Did he have his
Phillips
rainbow laces?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Or has he got like greyed out
attention.
laces now? Like his video, just grey laces.
They just dash him on the TV. They blur him on TV now. But yeah, obviously, the little bit of Calvin bias there. We still love him, obviously, an ex-lad. But I think he did well, and it just goes to show that even though he's not playing that much football or starting, obviously, for City or whatever, he's still got a lot to offer the national team. He's still a fantastic player. And I was watching him last night and I thought, bloody hell, I miss seeing him floating balls around and getting stuck in and breaking up the play as well as he does.
That's the mad thing, isn't it? Because City might have someone better to put in there, but do England? I don't know if they do.
Yeah. Gets more time playing for England than he does frigging Man City.
That City team.
But yeah, I mean... But Rice, Phillips, and Bellingham play. I mean, Bellingham.
What a player, man! How is he that good?
He's just naughty, isn't he? Who does he remind you of? And it can be Leeds based, or it can be anyone internationally. Who does he remind you of a bit? I'm going to go out here on a limb, right? And I've seen a few people say similar. He's got some very Zidane vibes.
I was just going to say that in my head. I didn't say it out loud in case I was going to get ridiculed.
No, but you can't ridicule Zidane, man. Fucking knows one of the best players.
No. But I mean the comparison to Zidane. I made a very bold quote last night, and I said Bellingham will be the best midfielder, if not player, England have ever produced. By the time his career's over, he will be. He might not win the most. He might not be the most decorated, but he will be the most finely tuned.
Let's be honest. He ain't got much competition, has he?
Well,
you're going to go back a long freaking time for that,
But I mean, just to go back. I mean, going back to Calvin. I think the fact that Calvin plays gives people like Bellingham and Rice that little bit more freedom. They can do what they did last night against the Scots, and that midfield last night was impeccable. Some of the football they played, some of the one touch and the actual movement. Because Scotland have been doing really well recently. We know they're not on England's level, but in terms of the footballing results they've been getting some good results. I think they won the last 5 in Scotland, and they've scored in, I think it was the last 7 or 8 at Hampden Park. So it was a good result that to go. It was a bit of a tenacious atmosphere. They didn't make it easy for England. It was
an atmosphere.
It was.
You're not going to go anywhere more hostile, are you?
No, it was good, man. And just to go back to Calvin, he played really, really well. For somebody who's had as many starts for his international team as he has his club team since leaving Leeds, it goes to show that how important he could be. And for me, although he didn't get the plaudits last night, he was very, very much instrumental in the way that game was played and the result. But yeah, back to Bellingham, he's going to be incredible. I've seen people say Gaza. Look, Gaza was a generational talent, absolute natural, but I think Bellingham is more athletic, and I think he's more committed to the cause, and I think he'll go a lot further. I mean, he's doing it in Europe week in, week out now at 21 years old for Real Madrid. Yeah,
and he's a good example to other decent young players. Like, make a move, go somewhere, chase your dream, play in the first team, even if it's not in England, in the Premier League. You can do it elsewhere. You can make a name for yourself if you're good enough.
Did you know Bellingham was the player that made the mistake that led to our only goal scored by Calvin Phillips in our centenary game?
A 16-year-old Bellingham.
Yeah.
You know that? I saw
still
that.
got his shirt retired.
Well, yeah, they have, haven't they? It kind of makes sense
That's
now.
outrageous.
I mean, it's a bit of a take, retiring a 16-year-old's number, but obviously, who are we to say anything? But
it's probably so they can sell Bellingham bloody.
They clearly saw something, didn't they?
Forever.
Yeah. I'm seeing a few repetitive comments in there that Calvin should move to get more game time. I think I'd have to agree now, especially with City signing the lad from Wolves. What was his name? Towards the end of the window, they spent 40, 50 mil. I forgot his name anyway, but good player, and he's yet to even be photoed in the shirt, I think. But you look at the pecking order they've got there. With Rodri, with Stones who can play in there as well.
Cunha the sign.
No, it's not. It wasn't Cunha. No, it was the other lad. It was the other. I think he's Portuguese.
Name.
I think he's Portuguese though. But yeah, Cunha's. I know Cunha's Brazilian, but he's. I forget his bloody name. It's gone. But does it begin with an O? Anyway,
I tell you, man.
Well,
anyway,
I'm miles off. So
anyway, I think in terms of what everyone's saying around Phillips, he could go to a better side. Nunes doesn't begin with an N or all, does it? It was closer than you were though, with a C. So
yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a waste of arguably the best talent to come out of Leeds. Certainly for a long time, if not ever, and for him to be sat on the City bench with a load of other world class players, it sort of takes a bit of the light shone off him. And last night we see now how important it can be to a team that is in, and our promotion team, I suppose, is a great example of that. But yeah, it's a real shame if he went to. But then I wouldn't like to see him go to a scum. I wouldn't mind him seeing him go to a Newcastle or somebody who's pushing for the top of the table or Champions League football.
I could see him at an Arsenal or a Chelsea, mate.
Nah, I reckon he'll go to a Villa or something, mate. I don't reckon an Arsenal or a Chelsea scum will go in for him. But it's interesting you should say that about him. I mean,
but Villa would be a good fit because he'd be like the main man there. He'd play every week.
I don't think I'd mind him go to Villa. I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about it until it happens, but you look at how Grealish would tread there in his first year, and it took a while for him to get embedded into their squad. He practically didn't play in there for his first season. Then all of a sudden, the second season came and they were absolutely all over it. Arguably one of their best players, if not their best player that season. So there's plenty of time for him. Maybe having that little bit more game time, bit of exposure. Pep might have been watching last night and seen something. I mean, he watches him every day, so that's probably just a silly comment, but
yeah.
Maybe this season, at the end of the season, he might think, look, it's 2 years I've been here. I'm not getting enough time. Obviously, he had a lot of injuries last year as well that he had to get over. It's his first proper season, first proper crack of the whip in it. So time will tell. But maybe at the end of the season, he may move on to pastures new. Who knows? Might come home. We might get promoted.
You never know. You never know.
You never know.
If we went back up, he probably would.
So, I hadn't really paid much attention to the ins and outs of the transfers of the Premier League since we were dumped out of there last season. Like I say, I think I've only just got over the end of our frigging transfer saga. It's, Christ alive, what a rip-roaring ride that was. We can talk a little bit about it, but obviously I think quite a bit of the focus over the weekend and this week's been the Angus Kinnear interview on the Square Ball. Yeah. I understand that you've both listened / watched it. Have you?
Yeah.
If any of you lot out there haven't, then you should do. It's a great interview. Really, really good insight. Firstly, it went on for quite a while, and I think they covered quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't go too much into the transfer stuff. I think it's a bit of there's a lot of red tape there, isn't there? Obviously, he threw quite a few of the players under there. I think the interesting comments about Adams and Sinistera. That he kind of did a sigh, and it's like, and he just went, no, I didn't want him here, and that were really poignant for me. But I think what I'll do is I'll start you guys off and bring you guys in. But I think it kind of draws a semi sort of line under last season, under the last regime for now until potentially, obviously we'll have to see what happens at the end of this season with regards to the transfers and stuff like that. He didn't actually mention anything regarding the players' contracts, did he? The ones that have gone. I think the Square Ball lads cleared it up in another podcast later on, but he didn't actually comment too much on what happens next year. How many of them? But I think he touched on it briefly, but didn't go into too much.
He mentioned that the reason they didn't sell Cine was because they didn't get the offers of what they thought he was worth, but accepted that probably because he'd been injured. And then he went on to say that they felt they'd paid less than he was worth originally, and they'll sell him for more than that.
He did a bit about that, but I'm on about the players that obviously went earlier in the window.
The other ones,
the guys that went, relatively quickly. Your Rockers, your Aronsons, your obviously your Verbers and stuff like that. We didn't really hear of where they will be next year. I would.
He probably ate some too.
Yeah, I'd assume that they probably want to. That ship sailed, unless it's different.
He did say that in all, it had saved the club £40 million just in wages alone,
which has funded the rest of the new players and their wages,
the transfers. But what was what struck me was how open and honest he was about how some of the players, and you mentioned two of them earlier on there, how much they didn't want to be here. It was quite
crawled
shocking.
Over broken glass, I think, was one of the terms he used.
I don't think
would have
he
crawled
said he's
over
not.
broken
I don't
glass.
think I know. Yeah, he did say he's not, but I don't think I expected him to be so honest and blunt about that situation. Certainly when he was asked the question, did you want him to stay, and he outright said no, and then they said why, on what basis? On the basis their desire to leave, I think was the wording he used.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. Yeah.
And the
lengths that they went to actually leave the club, or what they were prepared to do to actually. I mean, obviously, bringing in a legal standpoint in, or whatever. I mean, that's just fucking hell. It's like, but
what he also mentioned, which was quite. I mean, he's probably got to do this because Willie's still at the club. But I mean, he played down the Willie situation and said that he'd actually come out of it looking like the bad man in it all, when actually he'd just been ill-advised.
He blamed it on the agent, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think
totally
he's
blamed the agent.
just managed to scrape together some kind of goodwill out of actually staying, because the rest haven't, have they? I mean, at the end of the day, Willie were kind of getting. So I mean, we're getting some real shit, wasn't he? I mean, obviously, you could see the emotions when he did actually come back to the first team and played. Against, can't remember who it was. Who did he come back against? West Brom?
Yeah.
Can't remember. Might have been West Brom. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, there is...
Ipswich.
I think he's pretty much saved his... Yeah, it was Ipswich, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
He pretty much saved his season there, I think. But for the rest of them, no. Anyway. I mean, it went into some depth about a lot of different topics. I mean, on a whole, I think... I made some notes. I'll go through them, and obviously you guys can comment as and when you see fit, but... He said right from the off, the transfers were wrong. He said we signed 5 out of 10s rather than 7 or 8 out of 10s, which is what they were kind of paid. The fees that we paid were the 7 out of 10 sort of bracket rather than the 5 out of 10s which we got. So he openly said that most of them, if not all, of the transfers flopped, which I think we could all pretty much agree on. I mean, it's been blaringly obvious on it.
I dispute that in a couple of places, because didn't we only pay something like 12 million for Koch? I mean. That's not.
Yeah, but he wanted. Yeah, but we didn't buy Koch last year, did we?
I get that.
Last season's transfers.
Yeah.
But even still, I mean, just to say that they performed at 5 out of 10s when we signed them, we can't lie. We can't sit here and lie that we were disappointed with signing a Spanish and German centre back. We thought we were going to be getting 7 out of 10s realistically.
We did, yeah. We thought we were going to have this rock solid defence with these two international players that we'd signed from Europe, and they were going to be amazing. They just weren't, were they?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, with hindsight, the system they played, the manager they played under, there is a lot to do with that. Obviously, it's just a shit cocktail of everything thrown together, innit? So, that aside, we were looking like we were signing some good quality players. For a time, Sinistera showed his quality. Adams did. There were a few that did. I think the biggest letdowns were Aronson for one.
God, yeah.
Christian.
You mean who scored the belting free kick yesterday?
He was very lucky to score that one. I think Keeper should have done a bit better. I have seen it back. I thought Keeper's arms were made of lily pack or something.
Isn't that like the 100th free kick he's took without a goal or something stupid?
I thought the keeper was the ghost of Christmas past, man. It literally just went through his arms.
Honestly.
Ghost of Bailey Peacock.
Like frigging transparent, wasn't it? Well, like Rasmus, I mean, obviously, we've done Weston McKennie to death. I mean, he had literally zero impact, did he? And there were a few others.
Cholesterol will do Weston McKennie to death, mate.
Yeah, so he's one of them. But yeah, the transfers were no good by the end of the day.
No, they were shit.
He went on to say that the huge doubt about Marsh at boardroom level way before it was sacked in February. I think that's kind of a given. I think even the fans were calling for his head way before Christmas. I mean, that opportunity to get rid of him at Christmas, before the World Cup started, were an absolute golden opportunity that should have been made by the club, and they didn't. And it's a huge mistake.
But on reflection, I mean, it is a huge mistake. But we've got to take into account the results right before that. We were gunning for his head.
Yeah, but even
we played Liverpool and Bournemouth, and there were scrappy wins. Both
they were shit wins.
But when you're still beating those two teams, when you're 3-1 down against Bournemouth,
want the Spurs game that we should have won also just before Christmas.
Yeah, it was.
So we did look like we were going in the right direction at that point. It's hard to sort of argue.
I remember saying on here, though, literally on here, that this opportunity that's coming now, we need to get rid of him and get someone else. I certainly did that. Hand on heart. I mean, our hand on heart the season before, I said he should have gone. And for those who say, "Oh no, of course you did," no, I actually frigging did. 2 games it took me for me to say, "This is shit. We aren't going anywhere under this guy." Whims and fucking luck is how we survived in that season under Marsh.
Absolutely.
They were just absolute good vibes or whatever they were bringing.
But Angus did think that he'd done a really good job, didn't he, when he first came in?
It's hard to tell because of the Bielsa left, he came in, the team were on its arse. He managed to keep us up. As far as anyone's concerned, he's done a job. He did a good job at keeping us up. Whether you think he's a shit manager or not, he kept us in the Premier League. But what for most of us saw is that his football just was not effective. It was just absolute chaos, and it was that chaotic. I don't think some of the other teams that we just happened to shithouse didn't know how to deal with us a lot of the time. And it was that bad.
It looked a lot like playground football at times, didn't it? Everybody chasing the ball.
Well, yeah.
It were crazy, and we had big gaps then on the far side. No one at all down that side. Everyone's over there where the ball is. He comes out then, doesn't he, like the following season saying, "Oh, but the goal's in the middle, so that's where you need the ball to be." It's madness. Yeah. I mean, the goal is in the middle, so that's where I want the ball. It has to be up there for me, where Hock and his salt and pepper shakers.
It's the fact that a lot of the players and other staff and other people have come forward and said that they didn't actually work on keeping the ball and retaining the ball. It was all about getting the ball and basically shithousing a goal at the other end, causing that much pressure and chaos that they'll fuck up basically and will pounce. That is basically
we don't know what we're doing, so they can't possibly kind of philosophy.
Yeah, bamboozling them with bullshit, and that's basically it. Then the Gracia, obviously, that appointment for Gracia would have kind of shot in dark because every target that they wanted either didn't want to come because they want enough time, or they were obliged by their other clubs to stay. So again, he was way down the list, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was, and they admitted that, did Angus. But they said about when the Christmas thing as well, they said there were no better candidates out there than Jesse Marsh at the time. Do you believe that? Does anyone believe that?
Well, I mean, the only candidates that were available, we tried to get, didn't get, and then we ended up with. So, I mean, that's pretty much proof in the pudding, isn't it? We didn't get anybody better.
But is it that there aren't good enough candidates, or is it that we weren't competent enough to get good candidates?
I don't know. You've only got to look at they managed to get Bielsa. Why couldn't they get anybody else?
Yeah.
He were crackers.
I think if we'd have gone in at that point, the people or the managers or the potential managers that we went after in February would have had more time, i.e. the World Cup break, the Christmas break, and a transfer window to kind of implement their style and to bring in maybe even a couple of players that they might think would benefit the team. We didn't do that. We hopscotched that and went, there you go. There's a shitload of wankers that are no good, that have been ruined by Jesse Marsh's football. Do what you can. I think even Kinnear said it. They were on about bringing Allardyce in after Marsh. Do you guys think that if we would have appointed Allardyce at that point in time, we might be still up?
No, I don't think they were. I think they put that to Angus in the interview, the square ball lads. I think they said, "Do you think we should have done, or would you?"
I remember it being mentioned.
Wasn't that around the time though when he himself said something about I'd help Leeds or something like that, because he touted himself a little bit, didn't he?
That was towards the end. That was pretty much before we hired him.
I thought it were earlier than that.
No,
I thought he'd done it earlier. Or was it because he said? Or was it because he said if they'd hired me earlier, after the season? I don't know, but it's in my head.
Who knows?
It's one of the two.
But It is what it is. It was just an absolute shambles in it. But as far as I'm concerned now, after all that, and it was quite insightful, and he went into depth, obviously, about players, Llorente spilling the beans about how much he earned, whether that was tongue in cheek or not. Pretty much £6 million a year. Jesus Christ! I'm not surprised they let him go for nothing. You know, when we're sat behind our tablets and our iPhones and
that's over 100 grand a week. That's impossible to pay.
107. Yeah. 117 or whatever it is a week.
Can't be.
Yeah, it's easy for us to kind of, make poke fun at the club and stuff, but we actually don't have a freaking clue what's going on. But at no point did he throw anyone, maybe apart kind of a diet attempt at throwing Rads under the bus a little bit, saying that he didn't have the funds or lacked the funds to take it seriously and to push us on further than where we were at that time. But yeah, not once did he throw his mate Orta under the bus.
No, he didn't.
Not once did he go in on the contract situation really, or explain as to why the hell all these contract these terms for obviously loans and whatever else had been built into their contracts, exit clauses and all that sort of shit.
Do you think
should have expanded more on that?
Do you think the way that Orta was booted so unceremoniously, do you think there's kind of legal stuff in there stopping him talking about him? Like, do you think there's like an NDA or something, or they've had to agree to not badmouth him in order that he won't reveal something? We don't know, do we?
I think the general opinion is that, or the way that it's been put to a lot of us, is that Orta left because they wanted to sack Gracia, and the board wanted to sack Gracia, and he said no, so he left. He went.
Possibly, but we just don't know. That's what I mean. And like some of the questions they asked were quite probing, but then why would they not push more on Orta if they'd not been briefed that it couldn't be talked about? Do you know what I mean? Like there must be something.
The guys, he wasn't going to do it, was he? Either whether it's a legal standpoint or whatever. At the end of the day, you can't have your is he a CEO? I can't remember what his freaking title is. My head's gone.
CEO.
He's a CEO, he's the big chief now, and he really, obviously, apart from the people that are above him, he's not going to start throwing people under the bus.
I think there was a lot of positives to take out the interview. Though I know we've talked a lot about the negatives, but certainly, but the way he mentioned if we'd have had the 49ers in, they wouldn't have had those contracts, that sort of thing, and recognizing that Farker is the right man for the role, and the way he conducted himself in the interview, it wasn't about me taking over Leeds as a championship club. It was about me being with Leeds in a Premier League club and having a fair crack at the Premier League, because look, we can sit here, we know what went wrong. It's quite obvious what went wrong. The hirings of the managers, the contracts that have become apparent now. We could sit here and talk about it till the cows come home. It's not going to change anything, but certainly in terms of, I know a lot of people think Angus was part of the deal and part of the problem. Look, ultimately, he is the chief executive and was the chief executive and would have had to sign something off at the time. And I think they even touched upon that within the interview, as to why it was done and everything. So, but look, he clearly gets Leeds United. He understands where we are as a fan base. He's clearly not a fan, and but he gets where we are, and actually to recognise and identify, and I even do that interview in itself is ballsy.
You've got to take it off. Yeah, you got to.
Oh yeah, it is.
Him, haven't you?
It's very difficult to see where he gains out of doing an interview like that compared to the risk of like how bad it could go for him. So it does take a lot to do that. But I'm sure that there'll have been. There'll have been
very
some
diplomatic, though, isn't he?
That's what I mean. There were quite political questions or the answers that he gave.
There'll have been an agreement on what couldn't be asked before he even stepped foot in building,
Yeah, he did mention about Raj should have potentially sold the year earlier when we managed to just stay up. Look, we don't know if there was even agreement in place. That hints towards that they could have done a deal then.
Yeah.
But look, there was lots of ifs and buts and lots of sort of rhetorical type questions in there that couldn't really be answered, and he wouldn't really answer.
It couldn't go too far, could it?
No, but I quite enjoyed the interview on the whole. I don't think I expected to enjoy it as much. I listened to it on my way up north. Friday, and really, really enjoyed it. I think from I know it's his job to make us sort of as fans a little bit more positive, I suppose. But he certainly did that by the end of the interview. Look, there's loads of shit going on. We're in a bit of a shit state. I think the only thing that really concerned me from the interview predominantly was around if we don't go up the first time of asking. He says there will be a bit on P&S to do in terms of selling people, profit and sustainability.
Well, you'd like to hope that that'll be done via the players that have buggered off anyway. If we can,
you would. Because if you can bring fees in for them, then you've gained, haven't you?
Yeah,
sell Sinisterra and whoever else that we need to do to make ends meet or whatever.
Snakey Stera.
But yeah, no, I think he did well actually. I think he's painted the club that we are in a very good situation both financially and from a staff and recruitment point. He said that I can't get my words out. They've recruited well in their recruitment sector. So the guys that are doing the scouting and stuff, Nick Hammond's doing a great job. And it's positive. And like I say, I felt like I actually thought, do you know what? Wipe a slate clean now. We've got business to do now. Let's get Fark. Let's get behind Fark. I mean, we have anyway, haven't we? We've had some good introductions of some good players. I think we've come out of the transfer window all right. Saying that in the first 2 weeks it were an absolute shit show. And I think we were all like, "What the hell? What the hell is going on? We're gonna have no team." I think they've done well to get the signings that we've done.
Yeah.
I think we probably said enough as well. Said what we need to say on that one. To be honest, I think.
There's a few comments. Just quickly, Smarty, just while we've Clive T. Now he's got his way. We could talk about Angus Kinnear. Yeah, we've done it.
Hey!
Well Clive's got his
It's
wish.
funny how he doesn't show his face on the lives anymore, isn't it? Since I threatened to boot him off.
Chris Frost says the best podcast on YouTube. I mean, that's going some, but
Chris.
thanks ever so much for the compliment. Paul Brennan, we'll come on to that in a bit. Sorry. Luke Fisher said he was looking forward to seeing our views on the Kinnear interview. There was another one on the Kinnear somewhere. There we go. Bandy says, open and honest, Angus Kinnear is a liar and a punk.
He's not having him.
We're entitled to our opinions. Shelley, quite on the contrast, obviously it says Kinnear was honest about his mistakes they've made, but it's only helpful if they learn from them. I'm sure we'll be fine now under the 49ers and Farker. And look, I think that's a good sticking point because I think that's probably what Kinnear wanted to get out of that interview is to make us feel like that, and it has made me feel like that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I really liked when he mentioned how Farker was more like Bielsa in that he likes to be in control of everything and have a say in how everything's being run, and he don't want to report into a director of football and stuff like that. I liked that a lot.
Says a lot about him and his character as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Did you notice his sly dig actually at Bielsa that he threw in when he said something about it was hard to? Did he say it was hard to plan with the constant threat of leaving every year, like they had with Marcelo?
Yeah, well, that's just an observation, though.
It's a little dig, isn't it? It's a little dig.
One thing they did mention about Marcelo was him wanting 40, 50 million pound players to improve the squad.
To be fair, I mean, he always did say either him or the whole team would have to go. Yeah. And I think, obviously, in the most case, he took us as far as he could, evidently. Before he broke all his players and we ended up playing kids.
I do wish they'd asked him about the thing when Bielsa said you need to either change the players or change me. I wish they'd pushed him on that.
Well,
I would have liked to have
the
reasoning behind it.
It's like, all right, we'll do what we can.
To be fair, because
we'll buy you Dan James and Junior Firpo.
Because he'd said Rads didn't have the funds, basically. They'd probably just gone back to that, to be fair. But And also, one final thing I'll say about it, because it's in my head now, and
You're having the final surge, yeah.
Yeah, the 20p's gone in, and I'm just off now. So,
yay!
I felt a bit bad for him when he did say about people approaching him at a services or something. And,
yes,
like giving him stick when he had his kid with him. I'm sorry, but I don't care how fucking angry you are about the football and all that shit. Don't do that when the guy's got his little kid with him. Have a go at him if he's on his own.
I actually felt really emotional when his dad said when they got away from all the fans in the car, why don't you just buy a left back, Dad?
Just buy a left back, Dad.
The innocence of children. It's just simple, isn't it?
Not everyone have morals, do they? And they sniff an opportunity and they grab it with both bloody hands.
Before we do move on, I've just put a quick poll in the chat. Just say how everybody felt after listening to that Kinnear interview, whether they feel more positive, less positive, or feel the same.
Secret poll.
He loves his polls. Does
polls.
He loves to play with the poll.
Make sure you pronounce that P.
And make sure you
Potter.
vote on the poll.
A couple more comments then from Paul. Don't want any of them that's gone on loan back at Elland Road, but like you say, Alison, at least with some money off for the rats. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll be able to recoup some money back off to the rats that have buggered off. Tony is in the comments saying looking forward to see Anthony hopefully Sunday. I'm also looking forward to seeing how he gets on because he's been touted as a bloody good talent. And let's be honest,
who's that?
Probably. His first name's gone. Anthony, new right winger, replacing Stern.
Jaden.
Jaden, thank you. Couldn't remember his first name. Arguably gonna play more minutes than Sinisterra would anyway. So I think we're onto a win-win there. Any? Are you looking forward to specifically seeing any more of the new boys? Jed Spence, maybe.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, can't wait to see him starting. The ghost of Luke Ayling can be banished.
That's biash.
I think. Sorry, I know we were trying to move away from the interview, but the other telling thing was that we didn't budge. We said we are not letting you have Sinisterra until we've got a replacement, and then identifying that, and then actually, identifying that Anthony was actually one of our targets at the start of the window, which nobody had heard about and knew about, which was quite nice that we still got him and look, fuck Luis Sinisterra.
Absolutely.
Fuck Luis Sinisterra.
Fuck him.
Yeah, absolutely
snake.
Indeed.
Fuck.
He's well. We won't say too much because we don't want to be done for libel or whatever. But his agent looks like a right prick. That's all I'll say.
Yes, he does.
Well, within our rights to say so as well. Get us.
And if you want a charity boxing match, Jay will beat you.
Jay will punch you square in the dick.
And then DDT you.
Absolutely.
Headbutt him in the balls. This weekend we travel down to London. I bet none of you have got the. Here we go. You ready?
Go on.
Have you got it?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Never mind. We're going down to London. You're going to play it.
That's the fucking difference.
Jesus Christ.
So we're down at the Den
We're
versus
in London.
Millwall.
That's the fucking difference.
I'll get you back someday when you're hosting. Yeah. We don't often get wins down there, do we? Are you looking forward to it? Any of you going? I'm not. I'm going down to the little peninsula in Wales. That's where I'll be this weekend.
No, so I've got to speak quietly because she's still awake. But as we started this podcast tonight, Smarty tried stitching me up, but no, I had to. I can't really say much about it in case somebody from Leeds is watching. But no, I'm not going anymore.
For you so she can't hear you?
No, because I don't want anyone. Yes, I'm going.
Why would your child be watching this frigging podcast?
She's not, but she's awake. She's bloody. I can hear her reading.
She can't hear me though. And Jay.
No, but
anyway, we're going to take him to a pantomime. Anyway, he's being a good dad this weekend. He's not going to get pissed with Stone Island chuffing. Oh, musical pantomime, whatever the fucking same bloody thing. Is Billy Pearce in it?
Eh?
Billy Pearce is a legend. But yeah, he's not rocking his Stoney this weekend. He's been a good bloody dad. What about you, Jay? You gardening? You fixing out? You going at football? You watching it on TV? What are you doing?
I'll probably watch it. I'll be probably laid under a car at some point trying to fix it.
Are you guarding the gates?
Fixing it, obviously not throwing himself under there.
Yeah, that too, mate. Yeah, fix it, yeah. I tried to get a ticket. I once again got blocked by the ticket system because I refreshed the page too many times. It's crazy. I've not managed to get a single away ticket this season. I did 9 last year. I've not got a single one this year.
You need to get
it's hard. It's tough this year. I got them by accident.
Just happened to stumble across some tickets. And
I was going on the website just to see if I could get a home ticket in the South Stand with me for Wednesday for my eldest. And as I went on, I didn't realise the time. It was like 2 minutes to 1 or whatever. And it put me in a queue, and I was like, "Oh fuck's sake!" Chuck me in the queue. Chuck me straight into Millwall. I was second in the queue. Go on and give me 2 of them.
I'll take them off you.
It's all right, mate. You're on a different sale to me anyway. But I just couldn't. It's just every game I've tried and I've been blocked a few times now for refreshing too much, and it's so frustrating because I've had it where you refresh it, comes back up, and you click it, and you get to the next bit where you have to choose your seat, and then it goes, oh no!
Don't tell
Then
everyone
you're
the
refreshing
fucking
that bit.
secret.
Nah, it's all right. People do it anyway.
You little Poddington P.
And then it don't matter because it boots you out now. You get blocked, so it doesn't help you. There's no benefit to it. If you don't get a good place in the queue now, you're finished. That's it. Not like the old days.
You need to try harder, mate. You need to try harder. Onto Millwall then. What are your expected formations? How do you think we're going to do? Any news from Millwall? Apparently, their I don't know whether he's striker or one of their best players. Don't know how to say his name. Matija Sarkic. That's my guess. We need Carl back to do the guessing of the names.
Stuff. Yeah,
they bought him off Wolves, didn't they? But apparently he's their new star man. Apparently he's a bit of a doubtful weekend, which is always good. But what are you? If you were to give me a predicted lineup, chaps, what are we going for? Are we dropping Luke Hale? Does he keep his place?
Absolutely.
I'm dropping him. Yeah, Jed Spence for me, definitely.
Come on then, give us some formations. Give us some names. On the team sheet.
Melier, Spence, Rodon, Stroik, Firpo.
Is Firpo back
After the international break, so we were told.
I thought Byron would back after international break.
Still Firpo.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You watch him rip it up this season, and everyone will be eating a bit of humble pie. And then as soon as he makes one mistake, I'll be getting tweets from fucking everyone.
It's a shame. It's a shame this one to tweet because that fucker will be getting bookmark. I can tell you that for free.
Absolutely.
Jay, midfield.
Definitely got to have Archie in there. Got to have Ampadu in there. Probably play Willie because it's probably the best winger we've got at the moment. Is Somerville back yet?
Think so.
Bang him.
He were 2
to
3 weeks, wasn't he? For the adductor strain or whatever he had. That seems to be playing him too. Right then, so is Pirro playing number 9 or is our good friend, the legend, playing up front? Is Pirro playing 9 or 10? That's a bit harsh. Come on.
I know. I hope he's playing 9, but I fear he's playing 10.
What are your thoughts,
10
Luke?
again. No chance to be playing 10 again. Nah. Not after that shit show against fucking Chef Wednesday. Not a chance. My team would be similar midfield, but I'd have Rutter and Nonto out wide, and I'd have Somerville behind Pirro.
Could work.
Yeah. Somerville's
I think I'd rather that. I'd rather see Rutter out on the wing because that's what he's meant to be best at.
Yeah, he cut in front wing on, when he scored against Ipswich, didn't he? He cut in and then, like I say, just slotted it through them 2 defenders and then just
great point. I forgot about Anthony. I don't think Anthony will start. I think he'll come off the bench. I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, he won't jump straight in. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean that team that we've seen over the last few weeks has been he's been pretty solid on it. Obviously, barring a couple of additions, Jed Spence to name one. Whether Byram comes in or whether it's Firpo, I think it'd be a bit of a. I don't know. I don't think Firpo will come straight in.
No, I don't. I'd like to see him.
Pod Dodger's saying Somerville in the 10, Rutter and Willie out wide.
Same as me.
9, same as you, Luke.
Yeah, totally.
Great minds and all that.
Yeah.
Hey, some of us know ball.
Hey, it's nice. It's nice to see Carl in comments. We haven't heard from him all day. We're actually going to go and try and knock on his door and see if he was still with us. His phone's broken. So, I suppose we better move on to some predictions. Have we got any predictions in the comments from our wonderful audience this evening?
Hang about. Tony wants Shaq at left back.
Not a bad shout.
He did well, didn't he? I didn't even
Shaq
think of that,
well.
for some reason.
Shaq is doing well. It's nice to have a few options,
Did you just on Shackleton? Did you see his little face when he did his gender reveal?
No, I didn't. I hadn't seen that.
So happy. He just had one of them. He's just got one of them faces that I bet he's never ever had a punch because he's just so nice. Like, do you know what I mean?
He's a lovely lad, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he comes across as a proper nice kid.
Yeah,
he's
like,
Farks
really,
Dallas.
Really nice,
he's gonna be massive for us this season. He's gonna be working his frigging socks off. That lad. He'll be getting played all over the chuffing place.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got a second chance he never thought he were getting, so he'll be working his bollocks off all season.
Yeah, and he's a good player. I've always said he's a good player. I know others haven't agreed.
I was never convinced. He's impressed me more so far this season than he has in any of the previous time with us.
I think it just goes to show, a lot of
was
the players'
quite good.
performances. It depends on the management and the style of play.
It was quite good under Marcelo.
Yeah, it was good under Bielsa, but he were brilliant against Derby in playoffs.
Yeah,
It were a brilliant. It really, really did well. And then he had a couple of injuries. He does have a couple of injuries, as do all frigging players, But I think we need to give him a little bit more kudos, a little bit more respect, actually, because he's a frigging good player. Very good player. You see that Dallas had to poo-poo some comments on Twitter. About
I did see that.
Retiring.
Yeah, I did see that.
And he came out saying fake news. Did a bit of Donald Trump. Yeah, good to see.
Yeah, I just want to see him. I just want to see him again.
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to see Stuart Dallas play for us again.
He's going to get a right reception at Elland Road when he comes back on the field.
If his
Imagine he comes and warms up.
Oh, yeah. If his comeback game is an away game and I can't get a ticket for it, I'll be really upset. I'll be turning up in my Stuart Dallas t-shirt that they give us that day at Arsenal or wherever it was. Do you remember when they put them all on seats?
One Stuart Dallas. You think he passed away, wouldn't you? With the
And it was Grealish that bloody injured him, the shithouse.
Yeah,
I can't believe that's so long ago. Is that?
T-shirt.
That's like April 22, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, something like that.
No, it was
2021. Sorry.
That one,
it was last game of last. Yeah.
We had a few games after. We still had a few games after that.
It's just over a year. It's about 14, 15 months ago, I think.
It's a long time, innit, to be out of the frigging team, like. But so anyway, did you have Tony? Happy birthday, Chris! Many happy returns from all of us at OKB. Don't get too pissed.
From the Orta Know Better boys, in the words
the
of Smarty.
OKB boys, Orta Know Better boys. Well, I'm not cringy enough to say. I'm not cringy enough to say the dream team like Jay says. Have you got Tony O'Shea's 3-0 for the fans?
You got that down, Jay?
Oh, cheers for that. Yeah, just drop it on me. Yeah.
You're the secretary.
Smallest always gets picked on. You should know that.
You're in the bottom of the screen. You're the secretary today.
You're taking the minutes.
Mate, Smarty's so high up he can't tell the difference between you and me because you're that close.
It's a long way up, down. I tell you what.
That close.
I tell you what, a meeting between us lot would be like that. Do you remember that council meeting that went viral during lockdown? where he started going off at her. You did not read. What did he say?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Have you read the statutory declarations? Something like that. Something like that. That's getting cut.
You're going to share that with me. I don't have a frigging clue what you're on about.
Janice, whatever her face is, he goes mad, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He won't have
no idea. I've no idea what you're both talking about, but I'm sure it's a right laugh. You'll have to share it with us.
It was viral. You'll remember it when you see it.
Luke, give us a prediction for weekend.
I don't think I've got one right yet this season. I think I've got 1 point. So I'm going to go with 3-1 Leeds.
3-1 Leeds. You're taking these down, Jay. What's your prediction, young Jay Cartier down there?
Well,
MC Cartier.
I considered a 3-1 Leeds, but I'm going to go 3-0 Leeds because after getting no clean sheets for so long, we're going to get 2 in a row.
Okay. I like your positivity. It's raining.
Absolutely.
You might have to be happy number 2, dwarf.
That's where it takes, mate.
I think I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds.
Oh.
Pirro brace.
Lovely. Hope so.
Fancy it. Yeah, 2-1. I think
we've
got. I mean, we don't do well down there, do we? And their fans will be bang up for it because we are. It's a bit of a weird rival, isn't it, with Millwall? Don't you think?
Yeah, in a way, I'm kind of glad I'm not going because it's the one game where I expect feral people to just randomly attack you. But I'd also like
Luke
to have
fits in with it because he's a southerner now, isn't he? He's a proper southerner now.
He's pretty feral.
He fits in. He's feral. He's a southerner. But it's just a weird rivalry because it's one of the games that you look for because they only bring 5 to chuffing to Elland Road anyway. They're literally a frigging minibus full of fans that they bring.
They usually send Right Said Fred tribute band, don't they?
Oh, Gilly and Luke. like like a bus full of groupies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, obviously we've got good little rivalries, local derby rivalries. We know with your Wednesdays and your Huddersfield Towns, and Hull City like to make something out of nothing, don't they? And you've got your Borough, and them games are good. But Millwall, there's always something there. There's always something there. I've never been to Den, and I don't think I ever will. It's not somewhere I'd like to grace with my presence, I don't think. But yeah, it's a funny one. Have we any other business, chaps, before we move on? Anything else you'd like to say about the game coming up?
About the game coming up? No,
Anything
not
else?
really.
I just
Is
want to see
it on
us
telly?
smash 'em.
It's on Sunday, isn't it? I don't know if it's on TV.
It
I think
must be
it's
if
on
it's
ESPN, so if you've got one of them wirelesses.
Oh, wireless radios.
Oh, yeah.
that
Wireless
print
radios.
pictures.
Digital radio.
It's got one of the picture radios.
DAB. Yeah.
I think it'll be. I don't think you're gonna have to get absolutely fleeced by our club's LUTV channel because it's just fucking shite, innit?
I don't think you're even allowed
about
to
10
watch
minutes
it on there
behind as
unless
well.
you're abroad.
Audio's freaking about 3 minutes behind chuffing video as well.
Is that
on
why
Sky.
most people?
It's
Is that
on
why
Sky.
most people put Radio Leeds on? Well,
Oh, is it on Sky?
Sky.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Sky.
Lovely stuff. See, this is why we like people. Even Pod Dodgers wading in there with the old comments. So yeah, it's on at Sky. It's on Sunday, 12:30, or is it 2:00?
12.
I just hope we smash them.
12. Fuck.
Even
Nice
though
to
it's
get
not
a
a
win,
real
innit?
rivalry, they're a team you really want to beat, aren't they? You really want to beat them. You want to see a few tears, and you know that they're going to have Turkish flags out and be singing fucking shite songs and all that bollocks. So yeah, I want to stuff them. I really want to stuff them, not just scrape past them. I want to give it to them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Steady on. I'm getting a bit excited there.
But not to right said Fred.
Not to right said Fred. So, chaps, I'm going to move on a little bit to obviously we like to promote our mental health and all that sort of stuff. So we've got a few things from Andy's Man Club, which I tried picking up there. Someone else has done it. Andy's Man Club leaves September events. Sunday the 17th, the Barber Club at W2 Barbers on Easterley Road. Come down and get your face fuzz chopped off, or get your mullet chopped, or whatever it is that you kids are into these days. All proceeds raised from the W2 Barbers will go directly to Andy's Man Club. That's 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. Sunday the 24th September, walk and talk at Round A Park. They're getting some good numbers to these. So if we've all contributed to this, then thank you, people, and big up whoever's watching this for getting yourself out there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Round A walk and talk on the 21st, 24th September. I can't even read. Friday the 29th, pool and snooker night at the Northern Snooker Centre at Kirkstall Road. Go and smash a few balls, no pun intended. Go and meet some people, go and have a bit of a chin wag, maybe have a couple of pints and enjoy yourselves. Get out there, chaps. Go and spread the good word. And like I say, you'll be very, very well received. Obviously, the usual clubs on a Monday.
Absolutely.
You'll have to Google whatever your local centre is and get yourself down there. But go on, even
Plenty of
support
them
some
around.
friends or whatever. Get yourself down there.
That's it. Even if you haven't got out to say, if your mate wants to go with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of people on social media recently. I don't know if it's time of year or what, but look at quite a lot of posts where people are struggling, and I just said, look, our DMs are always open. But what I couldn't fathom, I don't suppose, is that because people want? Am I seeing more because people are happier to speak out now? And is it actually a good thing that we're seeing them, or is it just that more and more people are struggling? So I don't know. It's a bit of a
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? You'd like to think that those stereotypes are getting broken down and people are being a lot more honest. And I try and speak to my friends and stuff. Those that I know that have struggled or that I know that go through the mill. And I've always there were a couple of guys that I've sent a message today. Look, how are you doing? Are you all right?
Yeah.
You just even your mates who are loudmouths who seem to be living their best lives or whatever. Check in on them. Give your mates a call, a text message, or anything.
A little message means a lot.
Check in on your pals because you never know, and it'll do them the world of good.
That's
so well done.
I've got another charity thing to share here that Carl asked me to share. So just bear with me a second. Yeah, just bring this up.
Well, good idea to bring that up with the host prior to the recording, but
you just asked if we had any other business.
Hey, who am I to judge? Nice to see you're well prepared, James.
I am actually. I'm just waiting for you to stop fucking talking.
Crack on.
So our resident pod dodger has signed himself up for some stand-up comedy. He's raising money for the British Heart Foundation. I think it's November the 12th. You can find it on his Twitter if you want to chuck a donation their way, or if you want to buy tickets and actually go see him. Now's your chance to egg him live. So, yeah. But yeah, it's a good cause if you fancy it.
Live. Are you encouraging people to go and throw
rotten tomatoes, eggs? You know, he'll enjoy it.
Oh my word!
You know,
please don't throw him at Carl. We want him to do well. I'm just gonna, even if he's not funny, I'm just gonna be sat there laughing.
Me too.
I need to practice my fake laugh. I'm sure he'll be absolutely hilarious because he's a funny guy.
But do throw a couple of quid at him if not rotten food.
Yes, please do. Please support him. It's all good for a good cause. It's, let's get behind one of our own. Even though he's not.
We're all Leeds fans, so one of us one day will probably have an heart attack. So give British Heart Foundation some money.
Tony O'Shea's in the comments and said you're not allowed flags now.
That won't stop them.
That's not going to stop anyone waving a frigging turkey flag around in frigging stands because they're arseholes, aren't they? For the majority of them, Family Club of the Year, whenever that was back in 2017 or whatever it was, throwing all sorts of stuff, doing stabbing gestures. Yeah, they're a great bunch of lads. Skip has asked a question in the comments.
I think that got awarded by the same person that gave Bradford City of Culture.
Yeah. Hey,
I live there, so I can say it.
There's nice parts of Bradford. It's not bad. There's a shithole everywhere, isn't there? Christ. Skip said, if you could have one player from the last 25 years in this team, he's given a few examples. Batty, Decor, Viduka and Radaby. Is it from those four? Or is it from anyone over the last 25 years?
Yeah, Tony. Can you imagine him in the Championship?
You can have one player from the last 25 years in this team.
Was Yeboah 25 years, though?
Well, he means from the period of.
I think from the last 25-year period, so the last couple of decades and a half.
Yeah, but I don't think Yeboah was. I think Yeboah was earlier than that.
Yeah,
like 1997.
Surprisingly, it only takes us to 1999, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was like 97, wasn't it?
We've got to remember, lads, we are getting older now. We're a lot older now, and it's 2023. So you're looking at 98, 99.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
25 years ago. Hellfire. Do you know what, right? And some may agree with this and some may not, but I'd have Rafinha back.
Oh, I would, yeah. In a heartbeat.
He wouldn't be the first pick, I don't think.
Well, maybe not, but it's for me. Imagine Rafinha in this frigging league.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
He'd be retiring people left, right and centre.
But can you imagine Viduka just smashing people out way and scoring goals for fun?
Yeah. There's loads. You could go on and on and on, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be Viduka.
What about Tony Dorigo at this point in time? We could do with him.
Stick with Shaq. I'm gonna say something now, right? And you may agree with me, you may not, you may ridicule me. But I find Tony Dorigo quite hard to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know it's not because he's Australian, but I don't know, some of the ways he says things and some of the commentary, I just think, fucking hell, you sound boring. So much shit. I love Brinlaw. Brinlaw's fantastic, but
it is mad having a Welshman and an Aussie. It's like start of a joke.
It's mad, isn't it?
Tell us a joke then, Jay.
Guy walks into a pet shop and he says, how much for a wasp? And bloke says, we don't sell wasps. He says, that's funny, you got one at window.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And with that, we will bid you good evening. Fucking hell, fire.
Hang on a minute.
I'm joking. Fucking hell. That was terrible. Never, ever tell that joke ever again. You're barred from that joke. That was fucking horrendous.
Jammy's thrown something under the bus here. Tony Dorigo still my mate.
Fucking hell, Jammy.
Those are not the views of the podcast.
You're going to be getting us plugging in trouble here, Jammy.
And then another message of just out to Mark here, who's opened up. He said his missus killed herself through depression last June. Sorry to hear that, Mark. And the only thing that kept him going is his dog and us guys. So look, Mark, we are always there, bud.
I'll tell you what, mate.
Absolutely, Mark.
To hear that. That means a lot.
Yeah,
I hope you're all right,
sorry
mate.
to hear that. Yeah. If you ever wanted to talk one-on-one or whatever, obviously, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but, whatever. Get some DMs to us, mate. Thanks for the support, and I hope you're well.
Thanks for sharing that as well, Mark.
Yeah,
Big ear that.
It takes balls to do this sort of thing, you know, and
does.
you know, and it's great that lads can do this, and women, of course. But obviously, there's a stigma with men's health and men's mental health and that. And, you know, you've got to break down them stereotypes and be open and honest. No one's gonna, you know, think anything less of you. No one's gonna think bad of you just because you're an emotional person. You want to show your feelings to people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I do it. We do. Obviously, we share our lives. You know, we're pretty much living in each other's pockets. Us, you know, doing this sort of thing. You know, so we're all checking in on each other and stuff. But like I say,
Jay does, nobody else.
Cheers, mate.
Well, I say it's serious. I'm trying to be serious
The
here.
plot thickens.
Check up on your mates.
Dorigo. He was on the news.
Fucking hell,
Oh
man.
my god.
Why does
God.
it always turn into chaos on here?
I'm gonna have to read about this because it's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Not a Dorigo headbutted.
I mean, I've heard stories about Cantona sneaking off with someone's wife.
Oh yeah.
Whose wife would he supposedly?
Chapman's on it.
Leslie Ash won it.
Yeah.
Was it Leslie Ash? No.
It was one it.
It was Chapman's wife, but whether it were her or somebody before her, I'm not sure. But I know it was Chapman's missus.
Hey, we like to make up a few stories on it.
From the story that I heard
Yeah.
online.
Don't forget.
Okay,
Apparently,
She were banging in men behaving badly though, and she just ruined herself. It looks like she had an allergic reaction, doesn't she? She looks like someone
what?
was licking
What now?
allergic reaction. I think I'm having an allergic reaction as well.
Has that wasp stung your tongue?
There's no wasps in my shop window. Fucking Jay's wasp. Jesus Christ.
Hang on, we've had another joke come in.
Oh God.
Why did the policeman arrest a duck? Because he was selling quackers.
Jesus Christ.
That's shit.
That's worse than mine.
We're gonna have to come up with some better ones for perhaps the Berardi and Coke, whoever's on that. I'm not sure who's on Berardi and Coke, but that'll be Sunday evening. Does anyone know who's on Berardi and Coke? Quickly before we depart.
Without looking, I ain't got a clue actually.
Berardi and Coke for the Millwall is
I've got a
Luke
feeling it'll
and
be me.
Gilly.
Oh,
Luke
good.
and
Me
Gilly.
and Gilly.
The Bitchell brothers.
What the fuck?
The Mitchell brothers. I think it is.
There'll be some bitching going on there.
Oh no. Sorry, apologies. Sorry, it's Jane Carl.
I knew
Jane
it would
Carl
be.
are on Jane Carl are on BNC.
Because
so
when you've
they
had a
will join you
break-
at some point.
When you've had a break on the roster, you come back on and you do the main pod.
Roster?
on the BNC. Yeah.
Fucking roster.
The roster.
We call it a rota.
Yeah, well, you know.
But anyway.
Same difference.
So yeah, Jay and Carl will be waffling. The dream team, as they like to call themselves, they'll be back at some point on Sunday.
That's what we
so
do.
Make sure you tune in. Hopefully, there will be a good pod, and we'll be talking some positive stuff about smashing them bastards down in the den.
Absolutely. Carl says he's going to be fine going off these jokes, but don't worry, Carl. I've got a couple more for you.
Well, not now, please.
Please,
Save them for another time.
Not today.
You can do them on
I'll wait
Sunday.
till- I'll wait till everyone's
you and Carl
depressed.
can swap jokes, and Carl can probably laugh at you for your fucking shite attempt at comedy, and we'll just fucking leave it there.
This is the best joke of the night.
Go on, Deck.
Me and Carl are
Fair
legends.
Bit of
play,
appreciation.
Jay and Carl are legends. Yeah, legends.
No, they are legends. In their own
Legends.
lunchtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everyone for joining us this evening. If you haven't, please subscribe to our channel. If you don't, follow us on Twitter so we can get updates and stuff. And I will bid you all good evening. Thanks for joining me, chaps. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll catch you later on. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.